can we talk about impossible white man movies? I think it's actually time to have that conversation. So I was watching John Wick Part 4 because like the other 3 is just like already outrageous. But Part 4 was interesting because they all had, when I say they all, meaning the co-stars and stuff, including John Wick himself, this is not a spoiler, had like Teflon suits on, like full three-piece suits, vest and everything, and they are at close range. Like if I'm right here, like there's a person like right there shooting, like pew pewing right there, and they're not hitting each other. And in my head, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like they are like 2 feet away from each other, just shooting at it. Cool. I'm like, okay, this is definitely some impossible white man shit, right? But then I started watching Amazon. I started watching a bunch of the shows that they have. First and foremost, Reacher. Let's start there. Reacher is one of those shows where not only is everything implausible, but it makes sense as long as somebody like him, the actor that is Reacher, is there. I'm like, you trying to tell me this dude that is fucking 6'7" tall, jumping out of windows, climbing like out of them in the middle of the night, going and swimming from an island back on mainland, going and doing impossible tasks, coming back, swimming again back in the opposite direction against the tide, coming out of the water, knowing the direction he's in, getting back to the mansion, and not a single person saw them. Like, okay, cool. We let the John Wick thing go. We let the Reacher thing go. Let's talk about the Night Agent. The Night Agent, I was already sitting there. I'm like, okay, like, none of this show is actually really good. Season 1 was fire. Season 2, I'm sitting there like, yo, what am I watching? Like, this is... It became so nauseating to watch because the plot stopped making sense like 15 minutes into the season. I'm like, y'all realize like there's no way we can follow this. That not only can we not follow it, it makes no sense. It makes no sense that the plot armor in these shows consecutively are just almost like, yeah, like we're just supposed to win, and I want the main character to win, but sometimes I want the bad guy to just be like, you know what, like there was a casualty, there was somebody who mattered that won't be there anymore. And that's what's missing out of a lot of these shows. A lot of these shows just, they go through the 6 or 7 episodes and you're like, what the like they just, by the skin of their teeth, every episode, like, no, somebody gotta go. I'll give you a prime example again with Reacher. Reacher only has 8 episodes this season. Only has 8 episodes, right? The problem is this. They showed us the first 3 episodes, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, so just nobody but the main character knows what's going on. Like, everybody else is just like, you know what, we're the dumbest fucking people on planet Earth, but him, Reacher, just like can outsmart people doing the silliest, like, Looney Tunes comic type of shit. Like, you're trying to tell me in the middle of everything that's going on in a show that the main character, who just happens to be 6'7", 6'8", only has one outfit the entire show. He just casually in the middle of the night, 10:30 p.m., just climbs out of his window. Climbs out of the window, but then not only does he do that, he climbs out of the window, goes and runs oceanside. He runs to the middle of the fucking ocean and swims at length at 10:30 at night, late at night, swims to shore, to some obscure town. He swims that far while everybody else is sleeping, drinking, whatever they're doing. Does everything that he's going to do. After he does what he's going to do all night from 10 p.m. until whenever p.m., then swims back. He fucking swam back. He didn't get dropped off at the gate. He didn't just like casually get a plane flew like anywhere. He swam back. At one point, he literally fought like 5 or 6 different people. Fought 5 or 6 different people. And said, you know what? I'm the only one that was unaffected. I'm gonna swim from where I was after the fact back to against the tide. That's what's pissing me off. I'm like, yo, they made a whole mission of making the one scene showing that he's about to like he's taking off all of his clothes and leaving them on the island that he's in to make sure that they're dry. Put him under a rock and everything. After he puts him under a rock, he goes and swims against the tide in an opposite direction, and just he literally just ends up just being completely fine. Plot armor is just fucking crazy, yo. But I thought the John Wick thing was really bad. I really thought the John Wick thing to the point where it was like, bro, they are like pew pewing each other, like literally, like this much of a distance between each other, like door person, door person, door person, and nothing was happening. John Wick at one point he grabbed the collar of his jacket and put it on his face like this. Please go watch like John Wick Chapter 4 if you and I don't want to spoil it, but I will say this. He literally at one point held his jacket like this and they were shooting. They were pew pewing. And he had the jacket like this. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. So they're like going after you, right? And all of a sudden, like, this is what protects you. I get it. It's Teflon. You have a Teflon suit on. However, him as the main character, he was able to be shooting in the exact same direction, and people were wearing the exact same outfits. They were wearing suits that were made of Teflon, and he's knocking them off. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, one dude is going against 70 different people, and nobody said, you know what? Instead of us all going one by one to go after him, why don't we just all go collectively? Like, nobody really said, you know what? He keeps picking us off one by one, but if 100 of us rush him at the same time, can't. This, can you imagine a snowball effect? Imagine that in action films. Your main character, he's going and he sees a room full of people. Think about Kill Bill, right? Imagine Kill Bill, where Beatrix is going and she's in this room and there's 100 people just standing around her, right? 100 people standing around her, ready to go, ready to launch, right? And she engages the first person, and then the other 99 people just engage at the same time. Can you imagine? Like, the movie's so fucking different. Like, I get it. It wouldn't be as entertaining, but you can't tell me that in a film, in a movie, in a show, in anything in life, if there's you and 99 other people, you're going to outlast the other 99 people because the other 99 people just, they couldn't. No. Mm-mm. We're going to talk about this later because this one's really fucking me up. I'm going to watch the rest of this movie, but really, really fucked up about it. Yeah.